Well, welcome everybody to the first episode of the Wise Women's Circle. And I'm so excited that you all came for this first one. And my name is Tina Green. Most of you know me, but some of you don't. And I am in Northern California, and I am an author and a transformational coach and a teacher and an ordained minister, and all of that wrapped up. Really what my passion is helping women cultivate self-love, empowering women, uplifting women. And I'm especially passionate about that, even more this trip to Egypt that I was just mentioning to you has really deepened that in me, because it really helped me understand how much opportunity we have as women in America or in Switzerland to dream, how much opportunity we have to dream. And I believe that unlocking self-love and really cultivating that really helps us dream and grow and be who we want to be in the world and have freedom, really freedom. So I'm feeling so deeply committed to that, just in time for this first Wise Women's Circle with Stephanie Jones. So I think most of us are here by now. So I just wanted to take a moment before we drop in, before we move forward, is just to drop in a little bit. And, so we can just all be here. So if you feel comfortable, if you can put your feet flat on the ground, be comfortable in your seat. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. And let's just take a few deep breaths, like 3 deep breaths, really breathing into your heart. And while you're breathing into your heart, maybe even putting your hand on your heart, both of your hands on your heart, and really feeling your own self-love. I was told that when you put your hands on your heart, it raises your oxytocin levels, kind of like when you're breastfeeding a baby. So you can really feel your own love when your hands are on your heart. So imagine that you have a cord coming out of your spine and going down into the floor below you, into the earth below you, and really going deep down into Pachamama, and kind of spreading that cord out like roots into the earth. Let's really connect to our mother and be right here together in this sacred circle of women. And just take another deep breath into that connection to the earth. And as we move through this circle for the next hour, feeling that connection to the earth and letting go of everything else in your life, everything that it took to get here, everything that's going on your Sunday. If you can let it go and just be here and take in the wisdom that Stephanie Urbina Jones is going to share with us, and take it back into your life. So when you're ready, if you can return back to the room. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in and joining us on this first week. this has been, the Wise Women Circle has been a dream of mine for a long time. And most of you know that I just published a book called The Life-Changing Power of Self-Love. Here it is, just a few weeks ago, actually. And really, I decided to bring, I'm really proud of this book, and I decided to bring this to life on the heels of releasing this book, because it actually has 23 wise women as authors in this book. And I thought, what a great way to kick off this circle, with all of the incredible women who told their stories of self-love in this book. So Stephanie agreed to kick it off with me, but really, like every circle in these, these first few months are going to be primarily authors in this book, and they're an amazing group of women. So I'm just really excited about that. And my goal really is to build community and to kind of uplift women, and create a place where women can learn from each other, where women can really tap into that freedom I was talking about, and just really get a different perspective from someone who has really traveled through a lot of life and has some wisdom to share. So that being said, welcome to our first week. And I'm going to introduce our first wise woman, Stephanie Urbina Jones, who's really a very, very dear friend of mine. And she authored a chapter in the book. She's authored several books on her own, and she authored a chapter in this book called Mama Your Trauma. And it's really a powerful story about her journey to self-love through mothering. So hopefully many of you will relate to that. But Stephanie, hold on, let me get myself straight here. Stephanie is an amazing human being. I love her very dearly. She is a singer, a teacher, a writer, a sister, a friend, a mother, and a wife, and a lover of life. She brings her passion and experience of living a life of creative freedom to people all over the world. Stephanie has been my teacher. She's been teacher to many others. She's a #1 Billboard country music songwriter. Did you know that? And she just released a new album called Manuel's Destiny. And she's got a long history in country music, including, performing at the Grand Ole Opry many times. And, it's great to read her entire bio. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but Stephanie is an inspiration to me and many others. And really, Stephanie and her husband, Jeremy, really guided me through to gaining my own self-love. So I have so much gratitude and appreciation for her. One of the things, in her chapter in the book, let's see, I had this marked and no, I'm not finding it. Sorry. There was something I wanted to share with you. Just give me a second. In her book, in her chapter, Mama Your Trauma, she writes, "Who will I be? I can feel her, the new me, emerging, just like I saw my daughter before she was born so many years before. I'm excited to know the new me. I'm writing, singing, calling her forward. I'm finding moments of surrender to cry and making dinner plans with fabulous friends. I'm amazed that just as my daughter is being given her wings, I am being given mine." So I'd like to introduce to you all Stephanie Urbina Jones. You can unmute yourself, Steph.
Buenos dias, y'all. I am so excited to be here. I feel so vulnerable to be here. And I think that's amazing. And I really felt called to share that with y'all because that's a theme in my life. And any of you who really know me know that that is part of the magic, that place of longing, sacred longing, being scared a little bit, and ultimately surrendering is where the crack where the light gets in, where spirit comes forward and moves in. I wanted to start today just with a little section of a song that was written by one of a Toltec dreamer. He woke up in the middle of the night and this song came through him. And today I'm going to be talking and sharing about dreaming and bringing those sacred dreams to life. And so this song that came from a dream is a song to help bless our hearts. And I just invite you all to call forward the dreams in your heart, those sacred longings that we're going to talk about. So here the song, he woke up and wrote it down as goes like this. In my heart a tree is growing with its roots in the dreams of my ancestors, and its branches bloom in my words and my deeds, bearing fruit for the children of vision. And the wind in its leaves cause the children to dance and remember our longing to be free. Oh, Mateo. So, yes, I am a powerful dreamer, and y'all, I hesitated to say this to a group recently because I thought, does this mean I'm going to die? I am so fulfilled. I can't even believe how fulfilled I am every day in all my relations and my sacred work in the world. But that's not how it all started. I wanted to start behind that song with reading the introduction that I wrote that came through me when I said yes to being the lead author of Shaman Heart, Turning Pain into Passion and Purpose. Because it's me, like you, like hopefully all of us, owning our lives, going back through our lives and owning them, all of it. Here's the intro, the first word, which basically when this ended up being on Audible, I was like, oh my God, that's going to be the first word that's going to come out on the book. And yes, ladies, it was. My honey is hot and ready to receive, to be filled and rocked until the star seed of my longing explodes into every cell of my being. You see, they told me I was done by now, but this is the beginning. The beginning that came after the ending of giving my power to people and thoughts that were not my own. I slayed those dragons. I cut those cords. I haunted my youth and all the places that I lost myself and went away because too much pain was too much pain. That pain gave birth to me. I was so brilliant, that little girl who rocked herself to sleep and told stories to keep herself safe. Oh, my precious baby, you were born from the stars. You came to be here on purpose, on time, but not before you traveled the broken road that shattered your heart and hard shell wide open. You see, it was all a part of your destiny. I know it's hard to believe that this was a part of the great mystery school. Baby, you can't be a twinkling star in the sky forever. You can't make a wish from way out there and suddenly be delivered into a full, fulfilling life that makes you shout from the inside out like a holy night of unleashed passion that keeps you coming and coming with waves crashing. No, you can't have that kind of juice without being willing to lose control, without coming to earth and being rebirthed through pain, shame, caca, and rain to come out shining in the sun, grateful. You see, my love, you got to feel the pleasure and the pain to give birth. Embody it all to find your passion and purpose on earth. And just when you think you know it all, then you're ripe for the lesson you learn when you fall. Here you go. Surrender again. But now you know. Sometimes the gift comes when you're willing to give up and throw your towel in, strip down, jump in the Nile River and swim. Look up at the clouds, feel the cool summer breeze, hear the birds as they chirp and they sing in the trees. Soon the sun will set the night sky on fire. Stars will twinkle and wink and fill you with desire. In your boat, you'll then float down a river into caves. On the canyon wall, the story of your life will play. First a dream, then a fetus, fingers, toes, you're born, walking, talking, your life's growing corn. One by one, scene after scene, the epic, awe-filled tale of transformation in me. Through tears and years, you will finally come to see the shaman heart star you were born to be. So look in the mirror, ladies. See that masterpiece of life? Every one of you is a fucking goddess. You are divine. So let your longing explode into every cell of your being. They told us we were done by now, but this is the beginning. Aho, oh Mateo.
Damn.
Oh Mateo.
Oh, Mateo, hermana. Beautiful.
Thank you. I couldn't believe that those words came from me because I've always been keeping it safe. I've always been a people pleaser. I always wanted you to love me. And when at 40 years old, I lost everything that meant the world to me. Every financial security, the dream that I had worked 15 years on, the family, everything went away. There was no place to go except for in. And this is where my life truly began. Thank you to all of the things that said no to me. Thank you to all the rejection, because it brought up all of the ways that I wasn't loved. And ultimately, I kept looking for that outside of myself, in men and drugs and all kinds of things. And I came back home to me. And as I came home, I began to dream again. And one of the first things that I saw as I began this process, was I became introduced to the Toltec wisdom keepers under the lineage of Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements. Suddenly, I was apprenticing and learning these ways under these amazing beings that were downloading these pathways of freedom and how to live in joy. And in that process, I was told and began to understand this concept of we are dreaming all the time. All the time. We have a sleeping dream and we have a waking dream. Just look around at your life. That is your dream. That is your creation, every single bit of it. And as Miguel would say, when we have the courage to take responsibility for every bit of it, every relationship, and believe me, I know what it's like to have difficult relationships. when I get to take responsibility of all the things I said or did or didn't do. It led me back to the beginning for me. Since I was a young kid, one of my first thoughts was, if you can believe it, I want to die. And what happened as I started dreaming into where that came from? At 4 years old, my grandfather, he was the person that got me. Anybody have anybody that gets them, sees them? You know, hopefully all of us have at least one person that got us. And hand in hand, I'd walk with him everywhere. And at 4 years old, he died. And just imagine a 4-year-old, walking into a funeral. And I was so happy because all of my people were there. All of my people were together. And so, this was a joyous moment until I saw my grandfather in a coffin. And my heart broke, probably for the first time consciously. And all I know is they said he died, and they laid him in the ground. And in my mind, I made an agreement, and I use these words a lot in teaching. An agreement, a story was seated in my body. Grandpa died, so I want to die. Doesn't that make perfect sense? This became the filter for my whole life. I want to die. I feel pain. I want to die. I feel joy. I want to die. I tried to commit suicide several times in my teens. And it took me until I was 40 years old, y'all, to remember where that agreement, where that story, where that filter that was in my body came from. It was from these sacred ways that I was led in my teaching, in my apprenticing, these embodied experiences, ceremonies, initiations, vision quest that awakened the stories that were embedded in my body, that were keeping me from living my dreams. And so we're talking about dreams. What happened to that 4-year-old besides wanting to die was that pain, was an initiation of leading me outside of my own reality into a world of imagination. Just like Walt Disney, I became an Imagineer. And I really could inhabit these dreams, were so real, right? And one day I had this dream that I will never forget. And I was standing on a stage, and there was a sea of people, and there was no thought, but the heavens opened up and light came through me out to an audience. And then their love came back from them through me and back up to the heaven. And I never forgot it. And I even knew this was my destiny. So since this was my destiny, at an early age, I started singing into my hairbrush. I started singing in choirs. I started trying to live that dream, but I was disabled from the trauma, from the pain, and I couldn't. And so let's fast forward to that 40-year-old woman who lost everything, who happened to find herself with all these powerful Toltec dreamers and these initiations and these ceremonies. And one by one, I realized I didn't want to die. I wanted to be reborn. And this changed my life. That death, that we're always going through some cycle in our life. Nature, Mother Nature is teaching us all the time, night to day, spring, summer, fall, winter. Everything is in a cycle of life and death and rebirth. And I think if there's one thing that I could share that is probably the most meaningful is that as women, as creators, the sooner we can become honoring of this process of life and death, surrender, and then being reborn, the more we can live. And that's really the passion of my life. You know, it's kind of amazing to me that as I started to wake up and do breath work, Toltec Sacred Journey breath work, as I started to do ceremonies, vision quests, all kinds of initiations and embodied things. That's the other thing, ladies. You probably all know this, but I remind myself the mind will forget, but the body remembers everything. That's why it's so sacred for us to do embodied healing work so that those things that are gone to sleep, as we say in our world, those agreements, those stories are all in us, those dreams. You know, here I am, 56 years old, and now the dream of that 4-year-old is being lived. Every bit of it. Jeremy, my husband, says it's kind of like going to Vegas and pulling that lever on, and all of the dreams that have been like in the cachet, they're all like lining up. They didn't go away. They were all in me, just waiting for me to come and set them free, to allow them to be reborn, to mother them. And as the chapter that I wrote in Tina's book, The Life-Changing Power of Self-Love, to mama my trauma. You know, and I found a lot of us, not everybody has trauma. How am I doing on time? I see.
You're good. You're good. You have about 15 minutes.
Right. So I think what I want to share is that I want to encourage you to dream. I want to encourage you to suspend your disbelief of whatever the story or the mantra is that is stuck in your body that you're living. I can't afford it. I'm not old. I'm too old. It's too late. I'm not worthy. How could I do something like that? My absolute belief is that if it's in our hearts, if it's a seed that was planted in our hearts, it was planted there for a season and for a reason in you. And the only thing keeping us from living that dream, experiencing that dream, is us taking responsibility and going and being the gardener, the farmer of our own field of dreams. You know, Annie, Mark, and I have a class that we teach called Vision Quest 2024, 5 weeks mining the gold of your dreams, right? Step by step. And I'm going to kind of just go through some of those steps. And of course, we go through it in a much deeper shamanic way to bring those seeds of dreams to life. But every step is so important. The first one I mentioned to you all was to suspend your disbelief. Suspend your disbelief. Just imagine that you have whatever it takes, and your insecurity and your vulnerability is a superpower. I'm just telling you, right, Annie? That is the superpower, y'all. I've performed on thousands of stages. I've performed in front of 10,000 people, you know, I am nervous every time. Every time I'm about to step on that stage, I'm feeling like I can't do it. I'm unworthy. How did I get into this? How can I get out of this? It's part of the whole thing. And I think we have to share that with each other as women. Suspend your disbelief. Number 2, make a commitment. Make a commitment with someone. I'm committed to do my best to bring this dream to life, you know? And it's really important that you make that commitment with a sacred witness. One of the reasons I believe why the work that we do works so well, it's not because we're so brilliant, it's because we create safe containers, safe witnesses, so people can go deep and feel safe. And those dreams can come up and think, maybe, just maybe. The third step is to build your muscle. Build that, like a farmer doesn't just plant a seed and then walk away. They are mining for that gold. They are working with all of the elements. So what is your commitment and what's the spiritual gym for you? And there could be a lot of different things, but here's some ideas in that commitment. You wake up every day, no matter what, before you do anything, 5 things you're grateful for. That's one thing. Number 2, another idea is to do a daily meditation. I bought probably 10 years ago 5 of the 21-day meditation series by Oprah and Deepak. Even today, no matter where I'm at in the world, I am doing one of those meditations for 20 minutes every single day. Gratitude, a meditation, and then some other thing could be pulling a card, pulling a tarot card, pulling a medicine card. It's all about that communion with your spirit. It's all about that communion with the dreamer in you. So those things, you could light a candle, you could take a walk. What is your commitment to your field of dreams to make it safe for that dreamer to come up? Let's see. Step number 4, start being willing to look at and to feel what needs to be weeded. This, to me, in my opinion, is what we at Freedom Folk and Soul do really well. We hold sacred witness and guide people through pathways that illuminate these agreements, these stories, these mantras that we're not just thinking, we are living every single day. And I don't know about you, but for me, I had to take those to task because they were so conditioned and ingrained in me that I want to die, that I'm not worthy, that I'm not lovable. I can't do this. I quit. Thankfully, a few people here, Natalie, Tina, Annie, all know my rap of, runaway, right? But what are you doing to weed your garden? What are you doing to illuminate what is in the way, keeping you every single time? Because they pretty much almost always come up the same every time. Number 5, join a group. Be a part of something. We need each other. We need a community. I need a community that says, way to go, Stephanie. I'm so proud of you, or sees something in me that I can't. Or someone that is safe enough when it's like, can I call and can you hold the phone while I weep uncontrollably, while a grief that has never been felt and is stuck in my body comes up for 30 minutes and Annie's on the other end of the phone. It's okay. It's okay. We need a community, right? Be a part of a community. And step number 6 is self-care. For me, as these new agreements flew away or left my body, I had to come back to myself again and again and again. I had to mama my trauma. I had to learn how to be a loving witness and nurturer to all these younger parts of myself. And for me, that has been the pathway to my personal freedom. I love sharing and being a witness to people's bloom. And I think I want to end this, Tina. I can see I'm at my time with
Well,
any,
I just want to say, like, what you're saying is really obviously resonating with me. And I wanted to jump in earlier, but I also wanted to let you finish. What you're saying about really kind of removing what's in our way to dream. For me, actually in working with Freedom Folk and Soul, but for me, that the biggest thing that I had to remove was my tendency to put myself last all the time. And I know that that's so common among women, but I discovered actually that I was deeply codependent in so many ways. And so that's one of those things that, really kind of digging in. What you're saying is really kind of digging in and becoming more aware and really getting to the roots of all of those things and feeling them and honoring them and letting them go. I mean, that has been life-changing for me. So I really resonate with what you're saying. And, I've what we're taught is the opposite of what you're saying. And that's what makes it so hard, right? You
it's
know, we're
so
taught to run away from pain and,
to
hardship, to hide.
hide, to mask it, to just get on, to bake another cake,
Right.
right? Yeah, thank you for saying that, Tina, because a lot of people, and I really want to ask y'all, are you aware of those sacred wounds and or agreements, stories, mantras that come up when you set your intent on something? Because that's when it happens for me. Like when I have a big dream or even a little dream and I get down the road and I'm almost flying and then there it is and I'm stopped. Right? So what are those mantras? What are those roots? Right? Anybody want to share? Anybody want to? Yes, please.
Um, I've been a professional singer for almost 28 years now, and the older I've gotten, that was one of the things that that continuously comes up. I'm getting too old for this. I'm getting too old for this. Do I really want this? The second thing that really truly resonated with me was, and I actually made I wrote something on it, seeking attention that wasn't mine when I was in my earlier 20s. Music has always been my therapy. It's my medicine. I teach others how to connect with their body through their own medicine, their own frequency. But I didn't realize when I was younger that through music, I was seeking attention that wasn't mine. I wasn't using my medicine from a place of wisdom and truly connecting. So those are the two things that really, really, truly resonated with me. And that too old one, I'm still working on it, but I know I'll get it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you open to a little feedback?
Sure.
Well, I'm just so grateful for your share, and it could be in any topic, but for me, the reason why my dreams of singing and teaching and traveling the world that I had as a little kid could not come to fruition was because my soul was calling me to heal these sacred stories. And those sacred stories, those wounds, became my medicine. They became my wisdom. And girl, I've been worried since I was 23 about being too old, and I've watched, a lot of my, cohorts become giant stars pining away. And I've been, living with that. And what I know now is that I absolutely believe you were born planted on this earth with that specific gift for this time, for now. The world needs wisdom keepers and love and spirit nurturing mamas now. Now, not then. Who you are has been cultivated and grown, right?
All
So,
in perfect timing.
yeah,
I received a very touching and humbling um feedback at an event I took part in, and I'm sure you're familiar with the Amor Eterno song by Rocío Dúrcal, and it's sung in celebration of lives, events, and funerals in the Latin American communities, very well known. And one of the ladies there told me it wasn't that you made us cry, is you gave us permission to feel.
Shazam.
Giving others permission to feel. And that to me was like it was beautiful. It was beautiful to receive that. I needed that. Because yes, I can connect with people and others. I can connect with other singers. You feel the music and you cry. And that's what they're really doing for you. I think we all give each other permission to feel when we hold space for each other.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. And, I want to say, and Tina mentioned this for me, we said that these agreements for me, they've been in my body. And I had to find ways in sacred community and experiences to go into those agreements, into those wounds, to hunt them, to haunt them, to honor them, to release the pain. And what was left then was medicine and wisdom. And we become super powered beings and women the more we do this, stalking or the weeding of our garden. So, Tina, I know we got to go. I wanted to just finish with this. I pulled this card from my Shaman Heart deck and this morning, and it says, everyone's got an artist's eye, painting pictures with their lives. Everything you say and do is a framed canvas of your own truth. Your shaman heart wants you to know that you will recreate whatever agreements, you can't make this up, you've made through the lens of your life again and again until you choose otherwise. You will walk with distorted agreements until you consciously choose to change or create something new and turn the old stories into your medicine. Your sacred heart knows how to turn your wounds into medicine and take responsibility. The possibilities are infinite. You have the power to change. Omateo.
Stephanie, thank you so much. Do you want to take a minute just to tell everybody some of the things you have coming up in the world?
I would love to. In case you want to hop on a plane on Wednesday, um, we teach the Toltec Medicine Wheel of Transformation, 7 initiations in the pyramids of Teotihuacan. So powerful. We do it this December and June, and Tina and Jeremy will be kicking it off in Northern California in May. It's a powerful journey back consciously through the medicine wheel of your life, through initiations to invite those parts of ourselves that had to go away forward. It's amazing map of transformation. In January 8th, I'm kicking off 5 weeks with Annie Mark. Again, it's called the Field of Dreams, Vision Quest 2024, where we will be taking you each week on a journey to awaken, remember, and begin to grow those seeds of dreams for 2024. Powerful. In March, I'm doing a priestess process in Nashville with Ruthie Souther. It's half in person and half online. It's a year-long journey, leading a journey to Africa with Carly Matamore in February. We have 3 spots left. And we have our ministerial program in April of this year. It's again a co-creation with Annie Mark and Jeremy. You know, we are the midwives of our time. We are the ministers of the planet Earth. And through this amazing ministerial program over 2 long weekends, we really teach you how to hold sacred ceremony, weddings and funerals, baby blessings, but also shamanic ceremonies on how to, all of a sudden, someone is in a moment and you know how to activate and hold an experience for them to move from one place that they are in their life to another. And to me, I think this is the way the indigenous must have done it years ago. So it's an amazing program, highly recommend it. And the last thing is that I'm leading a journey to Avalon with Jennifer Harvard in April. So my dance card is full. I would love to talk to any of you about any of these programs. And thank you, Tina, for having me on. I'm very honored and grateful.
You're welcome, Stephanie. So happy that you were able to help us kick it off. I actually want to add one more event that I have coming up personally, and it kind of relates to what Stephanie was talking about. Stephanie's husband, Jeremy Pager, and I will be co-facilitating an online 4-week program that is an online Toltec journey, a deep dive into the 4 agreements as presented by Don Miguel Ruiz. And we're really going to take just 4 Wednesday evenings and really go into each agreement in depth. They are so powerful. And that's kind of really one of the things that got me started on my path. And so I am so grateful to be teaching with Jeremy, who's a master Toltec teacher. So he's really good. Right, Steph?
I mean, there's a reason why Oprah picked that book and it's changed millions of people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, not just reading them, it's like that inquiry into what those agreements mean and how you are living them or not living them, you know, and it really is a path of personal freedom. So I'm excited y'all are teaching it.
Yeah. Okay. So does anybody have a quick question for Stephanie before we jump out? Does anyone want to put their voice in the room or ask a question about anything? No? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming. But before you sign off, Stephanie is going to take us out in a really special way. So stay on and turn up your volume because she's got something special planned. Go ahead, Steph.
So I'm going to sing a song that I wrote when I was 26. Remember, I'm 56. So I was a little bird when I wrote this, which is very surprising that it came through, I think. And what I want to also just say is, I don't know why, but I'm getting this download too. This is a season that's really hard for a lot of people, right? And just remember, I remind myself when I'm depressed, because I still go into depression, what wants to die and what wants to be reborn. What is trying to get my attention? What needs my nurturing and love? And so this is chiseling out my soul.
1 second, Steph. Before you take us out, I am so sorry. I forgot to mention one thing. Stephanie mentioned the priestess process with Ruthie Souther. And I wanted to mention that our next one of these is on December 17th. And Ruth will be our wise woman. And she is amazing. She's so fun and funny. She's an author. She's a publisher. She's a priestess. She created an elemental priestess program. Gosh, she's a shamanic breathwork facilitator, a master Reiki practitioner, a hypnotherapist, an astrologist, a minister. She's got a lot, and she is just one incredible wise woman, and she's going to be our person next on December 17th. And she has purple hair.
Today.
Yes, today. So anyway, sorry, Steph. Go ahead. I really apologize.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, since I don't have my guitar, I'm snapping. Okay. Once knew a wise old man, Maximilian was his name. He was an artist of life, a sculptor by trade. I used to go and visit him. That's the wrong verse. See, there's my vulnerability. I once knew a wise old man, Maximilian was his name. He was an artist of life, a sculptor by trade. I used to sit and watch him work, ask him questions, try to learn about the magic that he made. But he'd just smile and say, I'm chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling out my soul. Well, I used to go and visit him maybe once or twice a week. I drank in every moment. I was thirsty for his kind of peace. He said, let love be your discipline, girl. Carve out your experience. Be authentic and be real. That's how my peace was revealed, by chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling out my soul like a precious piece of treasured art. I'm not for sale. I've worked too hard to find out who I am. And at my age, I don't give a damn. I'm chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling out my soul. Well, my friend Max, he died a few years back, but I think about him every day. You see, his words of wisdom, they guide my heart when I got a tough choice to make. He said, everyone's got an artist's eye. We are painting pictures with our lives. Everything you say and do is a frame canvas of your own truth. So I'm chiseling out my soul like Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling, chiseling, chiseling out my soul. Thank you, Tina. And thank you, wise women. Y'all are here because we are so wise, all of us. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you. Come back next month or in 2 weeks. We'll have a great one with Ruthie. Hi, everyone. Bye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you, Zoe. Great to see you.
So the Wednesday one is when does it start?
I'm sorry, January
The
10th.
Wednesday evening one,
Yes,
yeah.
January 10th.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Plan to do it.
Okay, thank you. Awesome.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. All right, we winged it and we did it.
You can stop the recording now.
Right. There we go. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to end the meeting. There we go.